Hey everybody, my name is Matt Marcellino. I'm an attorney with Marcellino and Tyson, and I'm sitting here with Katie Glenney, who is a paralegal in our office, and she practices in the area of family law. She works with Jennifer Moore, who you've probably seen in other episodes. She also used to work with me, but man, I can be a problem sometimes. But anyway, I thought it would be really interesting to bring Katie in and have a discussion about what a paralegal does with regard to the practice of law, how they assist in the case matters and the clients and so forth. Because I get that question a lot. Well, what does a paralegal do? And most of the time, my answer to that is they make sure that I survive and that I stay organized and that I'm where I need to be and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I think there's probably a lot of that. At least maybe there's a lot of that when you were with me, maybe a little bit less
It's a lot
now.
of chasing,
Yeah, right? So like if somebody were to ask you, like, what does a paralegal do at Marcellino and Tyson and like the practice of family law, how would you explain that to someone?
Yeah. So I kind of help from the front end to the back end of the case. Initially starting off, I'd review consult notes to see kind of why you hired us in the first place. I'd make sure that we started getting your file in order in terms of what documents we might need from you, if there's active litigation, just kind of making sure the attorneys are going to have everything they need just getting started. I'll kind of keep up with those items throughout. I'll make sure deadlines are calendared. It's kind of a lot of administrative work, I will say that.
Right.
Yeah.
And kind of herding the lawyers in the right direction sometimes.
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like even this morning, I went through all of my cases and just made sure everything is still moving. We have all of our deadlines going where they need to go. It's a lot of chasing, like I said. Yeah.
Right. When you reach out, I presume you're reaching out to clients. So like on the front end, gathering information is of abundance importance, right?
Yeah.
So we the lawyers have consultations. We meet with the client. They tell us what's going on, right? We take those notes, you review those notes, like you already said. And then more often than not, we learn more as we go, right?
Yeah.
So we're gathering information. And I've always thought that your role in that gathering information has been hugely important. Right. So because, not only are you managing the lawyers, you also assist in managing the clients to an extent, right? Because they too have to stay on these deadlines and so forth, right?
Yeah. So especially when there's financials involved, we do need to make sure we're getting, documents to keep up with, especially with date of separation and just trying to get things as nailed down as possible. Because money does always ebb and flow. So making sure we've got date of separation statements. We've also got the values for the cars. We're keeping up with a lot of different things. It's a lot of juggling. And then also when it comes to custody, you're also trying to make sure you've got everything you need in terms of what does the schedule look like right now? Where are you at?
What schedule are you referring to?
With your kids. So once you've separated, they've got now 2 places to be.
Right.
So it's kind of just making sure we're getting the whole picture of what your life looks like at this current moment and how we can make sure you are being best supported and how the attorney can keep up with those things.
Child custody, I think, is the most litigious piece, meaning people fight harder and longer when you're talking about the kiddos compared to, assets in a marriage. But even though all of us litigated, this one just seems to be more difficult, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So does that make your job more difficult? And what are you doing while you're preparing a file for litigation involving child custody?
Yeah, it's definitely something that I take a lot of pride in when I'm doing custody matters. It's a very important thing to the families. We're looking for text messages, so I might do a text message export in office. Emails, correspondence, just kind of keeping up with, how the families are interacting and what could be used as evidence later on for the attorneys, because, again, there's so many things that go into it, but those are the, the big pieces of it.
Yeah. In your experience, who is more often than not having these conversations with the clients, maybe not providing legal advice, right? But who's typically communicating with our clients about the importance of these things?
I do know the paralegals do a lot of it. Right. We are the ones sending the lists. And sometimes I feel like I'm almost inundating people with, like, I need all of these things, but it's because we need all of the things we're asking for. So a lot of mine correspondence is, hey, we need more text messages, or we need those emails that you mentioned. Please send over all of those sorts of things.
Right.
So,
Because, I mean, would you agree that when we're asking for these items, right, it's because we think that they're important.
yeah.
And as the legal providers, we're trying to put together a picture.
Yeah.
To
you need the whole picture.
Right.
So it's definitely, it's painting a picture. There's there's the backdrop, there's the forefront. I'm an artist too. So
right.
yeah, it's all of those pieces that help make the whole image come together. So that's why we're asking for it.
Yeah. Because you use the word evidence, right?
Yeah.
Like we're looking for that. And I always like to say, like, regrettably, when you're in a litigation sort of world, like you're under a microscope, right?
Absolutely.
And everything you're doing or saying could have an exhibit sticker stuck on it, and then it's put in one of my binders,
Yes.
right? Which
I have made many.
Which
yes.
you make, and then the lawyer goes to court and here's all these exhibits with exhibit stickers, and we're offering them, and we're trying to essentially prove our case for the benefit of our client, right?
Exactly.
So the front end is hugely important in order to prepare us to get to that courtroom.
Exactly. There's a lot that goes into getting into the courtroom, and building it up. It starts from the day you hire, honestly, and we are keeping up with it throughout the whole time. I mean, I have a client that I know is going to trial sometime, possibly January through February, but right now in December, we're, asking for all of the documents we might need. We're sending out discovery. We're doing all of these things just to prepare to be in front of that judge to plead our case.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And, there's also the client's kind of responsibility to continue to update us
Yes.
on changes, additional communications, new financial records. But luckily for them, you're there.
I'm the one
to
bugging
constantly
them.
be asking.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Right. And I mean, I know it can be a lot when I'm constantly saying, do you have updates for us? Or just constantly prodding, we need updated financials. But it's just for their benefit. It's for the client's benefit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to do what's best for them and what could help continue moving their case forward to better serve them.
Right.
So.
Right. And I think another thing that's you can kind of apply that logic across alimony, child support, ED. It's the same sort of process that you're trying to put together for us, right? But then, communication with the client is also, more often than not, I've always found you to be, you communicate not only very well with our clients, but you communicate with them frequently, right? Because there's part of your job, I believe, which is to help with the expectations of our clients, right?
Yeah. I mean, you guys have so many clients, and it's not everything would need an attorney response, especially when it comes to like getting things scheduled. That's not something that you need to take on your plate, because you might have a hearing in the afternoon that you have to prepare for, and there's so many different things that you're doing as an attorney that I could take off your shoulders. And so that's definitely one of the things that I'm trying to do, is communicate with the clients and make sure that they know, we're still on your case. You might not be talking directly to Matt, might not be talking directly to Jen, but they're aware of what's happening. And just because it's a paralegal responding doesn't make it less
important.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think most of our clients recognize this. They understand that you as a paralegal or even the legal admins can't provide legal advice, right?
Yes.
Even though you and most of our other paralegals in this office, not all of them, probably are as good lawyers as I might be, right? So because you've just been doing it. We're in the grind together, right? It's the process. But I've always found like y'all's ability and the importance of it is when you do communicate with the clients, it's to put them at ease, right? When you said like letting them know that we're still here and working on their case, sometimes something is going on and I may not be available, but I know that you will call them and you will say, tell me what's going on. And they give you the rundown, and then they know that you're going to get off the phone. You're going to get that message to either myself or Jen or whatever person needs to get for something to happen.
Yes.
Right. And I think that helps them out a lot in this process.
Yeah. And if there is a fire that happens to pop up in their life, I'm willing to go and interrupt whoever I need to in whatever fashion I need to.
Yep.
Because there are things that I'm able to prioritize as a paralegal too. Some things may be lower on the list, but some things may be, I might be barging into a conference room at some point. It just depends on how it comes in, what it is. So that's a big part of what I play, because again, you might not be constantly watching your emails if you're in a meeting, but I'm watching emails constantly. That's a big part of my job, is just seeing everything that's coming in. Filings, opposing counsels are emailing us, clients emailing us, just everything that's coming in. I'm making sure it at least gets eyes on within, I would say, an hour maybe. I'm watching. So
I'll tell you what, there's a huge value for clients to know that when to kick in my door and say, Matt, you got to stop what you're doing. We got a problem, right? Or something that's may not be a problem, but we've got a change in circumstances, and it might be good or bad, but and the reason why you're able to do that is because of all the hard work you put in here, right? And that, like I said, like you understand this process as well as anyone else in the office. So you're able to gauge what level of urgency these things are, and you get that information to me or Jen or whomever in the time that I trust. When is appropriate, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if you have to kick in my door, please do so.
I was gonna say I will. I've learned when I first started, I was definitely not as willing to kick in a door, but now that I've gotten into this and I know, what is an emergency for our clients, I'm kicking in a door. I don't care at this point. It's an important job that I have, and I really appreciate having it. And I know
the clients would be lost without you.
I know, and I don't want to, toot my own horn over here, but I know that it helps everyone involved in the process. And even though I can't give legal advice, I know when I can tell you guys that you need to give legal advice right now, if that makes sense.
It does.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sitting in. I know
Absolutely.
It was out of nowhere on you, but I thought it would be important to know for people to kind of learn, like, how do paralegals work within our office and typically within the space entirely, and the importance of that role, because it is extremely important, right? You're the ushers to everything, right?
Yeah.
Like, you keep us in line, you keep our clients, I don't want to say in line, but you keep them informed and on track,
Yes.
right? Might be a better way to say that. But no matter, it's a very, very important role within any law firm. Is the paralegal and the attorney are a team. That's how we operate here.
Absolutely.
So, but anyway, hopefully this has been helpful to y'all, learning exactly what Katie does here at our office and other paralegals. And maybe that answers all your questions. If it doesn't, you can always feel free to shoot us an email. Maybe we can give you some more insight. I don't know. But otherwise, we appreciate you watching our video.